Dear, dear students, today's class is the economic condition of Pallava age. This is most important topic in the history of Tamil Nadu. The economic condition of Pallava age, which is synopsis, consists including introduction and conclusion. The one is agriculture, Brahmadaya, Devadana village, Pallichandam, agricultural produce, land measurement, irrigation facilities, maintenance of irrigation, industry, market, trade, coins, and the last one is weight and measurement. Come to the introduction of the economic condition of Pallava age. After the end of the Kalapura age, the Pallavas domination in Tamil Nadu. The Pallavas made their capital at Kanjipuram. Under the Pallavas, the traditional form of occupation prevailed in Tamil Nadu, but the bricks foreign trade of the Sangam age was missing. Through trade with Southeast Asia prevailed. The famine affected Tamil Nadu often during this period. The first getting of the agriculture of the economic condition of Pallava age. Agriculture was the main occupation of the Pallava age people. The river basins which was formed the agrarian regions of Tamil Nadu. The ownership of land was a hereditary right. Tillers were appointed for cultivation of land. The inscription of the Pallava age, which explain about the different tenures of the Pallava dynasty. The Pai Nilam indicates those lands in which the produce was held equality by the landlord and the tenant. The Adai Nilam, which refers to the king's share of the land produce. Karai Nilam was subjected to periodic redistribution among the tenants. The gifted lands, which consisted of Brahmadaya, Devadana, Pallichandam, and Saipogam. The lands were classified as Nanjai, Punjai, Natam, and Totam during the time of Pallava age. The another subcutting of the economic condition that known as Brahmadaya. In the Pallava age, the lands donated to Brahmins, which were known as Brahmadaya lands. This land related to Brahmins community. They enjoyed Sarvamanya tenure. They were freed from the payment of a number of taxes at the time of Pallava age. These villages were named after their donors. Several irrigational rights for using water for cultivation through channels were provided during the time of Pallava age. Along with the Brahmins, the people of other communities lived there. But the Brahmins held the largest share in the village lands and professed management rights during the time of Pallava dynasty. The another subcutting Devadana village. The land donated to the temple which was called as Devadana land. This included not only a few units of land, but sometimes a whole village and its entire revenue. The Velur Palayam grant records that Sri Kattupalli village was endowed to God Yagneswara during the period of Nandivarman III, who was the Pallava ruler. The next one is Pallichanda. The Jain religious institution to receive the land grants enjoying tax exemption at the time of Pallava period. The Pallan Koil copper plate, which was issued by Simga Vishnu. This copper plate mentioned that the land grant to the Jain monks Vajranandi. The inscription of Nandivarman III and Kambavarman, which referred the grant of Pallichandam in the period of Pallavas. Land donated for the maintenance of tanks was called Yeripatti or Yericheru and managed by the village Sabha. The next one is agricultural produce. Rice was the main food at the time of Pallava age. The rice also seed commercial produce and one of the principal items of barber during the Pallava period. In the Pallava period, the coconut, palmyra, Yaraka farms, mango, oilseeds, plantain and cotton were cultivated by peoples. The another one of the plants that are known as a medicinal plants were also cultivated by people. The another economic condition of subcutting is the land measurement. The land measurement used during the time of Pallava period. The system of land measurement followed by Pallavas in the measurement was the basis for the economic progress of the later Solas. Land was measured and demarcated. Boundaries were marked by stones and shrubbery. The sketch of the lands with 4 boundaries properly marked was given when lands were donated. The records of the Pallava age, which mentioned about block, Navardhana and Pattiga as units of measurement in the Pallava period. Block means a piece of land which cultivated by person or people with a blow and a pair of bullocks. Patiga was a piece of land used as a pen for sheep. Valley and Kuli were standard units of land. A Kuli was equal to 81 square feet. 4 John Road, 12 John Road, 16 John Road were other measurements to measure length in the time of Pallava age. Next one is irrigation facilities. In the Pallava period, for the improvement of agriculture, protection, the irrigational channels, tanks, lakes, and large wells. These were taken care by the state and private individuals of the Pallava age. The Pallavas undertook the construction of many tanks which were named after the rulers. Rajadatka, a public tank, which was built during the time of Pallava age. It is mentioned in the plates of Queen Sarudevi. Trianary is mentioned in Kasakudi copper plates. It was constructed during the period of Nandivarman II. The Parameswara Dadaga, built by Palar, was named after the Parameswaravarman I. The Vairamega Dadaga is the large and famous tank in Utramerur. The Pallava inscription mentioned some tanks that are called as Vali Eri, Marpida Eri at Alambakam, Velleri, Tumbaneri, Marudatu Eri, Sakradutta, Uragarada, and Karwadi Eri. Numerous wells were also constructed by the Pallavas rulers. Peringunar was constructed by Kamban Arayan during the reign of Dandivarman, the Pallava king. The lands irrigated by well water, which is known as Ettampulam and Ettappadam. Several methods of irrigation were used during the Pallava period. Canals were dug from the main rivers to feed tanks. Another subcutting of the economic condition that are known as maintenance of irrigation. The numerous sluices, canals, and tanks needed a constant attention during the time of Pallava period. The Marudadu inscription state that Kongarayar Nindra Perumal built a sluice to protect the lake. The management of Pallavas was instructed to the tank committee or Eri Varium of the Sabha. The industry of the Pallava dynasty. It is another important subcutting of the economic condition of Pallava period. During the Pallava reign, the various profession of the people may be known as for the various professional taxes levied. Some of the prevalent industry of Pallava age like spinning, weaving, pottery making, cattle breeding, goldsmith, carpentry, and oil pressing. All are organized industries which established after obtaining sanction from the governing authority. A share of the profit was paid to the king by king or cash. All the occupations were hereditary in nature. Next one is market. Each village had its market in which 18 kinds of grains were sold in the Pallava age. Sundarar, in his schemes, which mentioned Tilkachur temple was surrounded by stalls in which oil, tea, coconuts, sugar, vegetables, and flours were sold. A license had to be taken to open jobs by merchants in certain areas of the Pallavas period. Trade. The inscription of the Pallava age mentioned inland or domestic trade. Each and every village had their shops at the time of Pallava period. In the Pallava age, the commodities like oil, ghee, sugar, and vegetables were sold. The inscription of Ulagalanda Perumal temple, which is in Kanji, that mention about the license were given to shop owners. The internal trade was mainly based on the barter system. Mahabalipuram and Nagapattinam were the important seaports during the Pallava period. The trade relations with the East, the trade relations with the Southeast Asian countries and China. In the time of Pallavas period, the pearls, ivory, coral, sandalwood, cardamom, and the cloves were exported to China. A talk in the Vishnu temple there was named after the Pallava ruler Avanthi Bhaskara or Nandivarman III, the king of Pallava dynasty. The next one is coins. In the Pallava period, the coins were mostly of gold and silver. Kanam, Palangasu, Tulaipun, Pun, and Vidal Vidugu Pun are mentioned in the inscription of Pallava dynasty. The most of the Pallava coins bore on the observes the Nandi as their mark. On the reverse of these coins, some figures found that like lamp, swastika, conch, wheel, bow, fish, umbrellas, horse, lion, in etc. The Pallavas coinage and Pandyas were influenced by that of Ceylon. The next one is weight and measurement. Patiya was a unit of land measured at the time of Pallava age. Lines were denoted by the term Padagam. The measurement of Padagam was 240 kulis of land. Veli and kuli were the most common land measures. These were used in the time of Pallava period. Different rods sizes known as 4 John, பொன்னில் John coal and 16 John coal were used. Oil and milk were measured by alak, ulak, uri and nali. Patti was measured by nali, marakal, kuruni, padakku, kadi and kalam. Kalanji and manjidi were the measurements of gold. Now I come to conclusion of the economic condition of Pallavas. The Pallavas constructed many tanks for providing irrigation facilities for agricultural lands. The successful of the Pallava rulers architectural embellishment point out sound economic of the Pallavas, but concerns with the neighboring rulers and the maintenance of large army tutored trained their economic researchers.